Legs are seizing up.
And we are back for another episode of Dead Last Cycling. This week, we're racing in Tour De Zwift Stage 4, which takes place on London 8. As you might notice on the minimap, London 8 has one feature, the absolutely monstrous Box Hill, which probably explains why, apart from one chap that didn't get the memo, why this was, as far as Zwift starts go at least, fairly relaxed.
All right. It's a bit of a flat one today, apart from Box Hill. We got a kicker as we turn out of the river that could select some people, but apart from Box Hill, it's pretty flat. So the mission up around us today is going to be wheel suckage. We want to draft as much as possible. That blue bar at the top, we want to keep that nice and full.
I came into today's race feeling pretty good. Wednesday this week marked day 100 of our Zwift and cycling adventure, and I decided the smart decision was to mark the occasion with a 20-minute FTP test, because I have mental issues. That test, though, resulted in a nice shiny new FTP number, which added a bit of confidence going into this race.
Smaller group this week. That's probably Box Hill, scaring a few people off. It's kind of understandable, to be honest. It's horrible. Last time I went up Box Hill, I cracked. So today, we're not going to crack. Well, that's the goal.
We might not have had the 100-strong field from the past few races, but 76 riders is still a lot, especially with a start that lets so many people settle into the race. With the only really challenging part of the first half approaching, I moved up to make sure I didn't have to light any premature matches to stay in a comfortable position to execute our wheel-sucking strategy.
Only likely split point there in the first half. So I think what we'll do is, I think we'll hit the old fast forward button.
Unsurprisingly, we raced into the foot of Box Hill as a sizable group, and my mission to save Watt had been completed successfully. But now it was time to move up, because Box Hill's steepest section is right at the beginning, and I was expecting the fireworks to start immediately. Right on cue, people started to kick off the front, but our positioning made all the difference, and we were able to stick with the early leaders without any major spikes in power.
Try to control this. It's a long way.
By Zwift racing standards, Box Hill is a very, very long climb, and I honestly did not know how well I'd be able to hold power on such a long effort. My heart rate was already well over what's comfortable, and I was basically in VO2 territory already. Could I sustain that for over 8 minutes? I honestly didn't know. The group was shattering all over the road, and one by one, people in front of me were letting the wheel go. I had to fight past them and bridge up to the leader by myself. But as soon as I latched on, they attacked me, and I was forced to light my first real match of the race to close the gap. Straight away, they attacked again, but this time I was able to close the gap easily. Still, with such a long way to go, I didn't feel confident launching my own attack, at least not yet. I decided, as the bigger rider, I needed to try to ride this as smart as possible, force the smaller climber to do most of the work, and save some watts for the final ramp before the descent. As I cruised back to the wheel after yet another attack, I could see player 3 lurking on my shoulder. Enter Captain Pat Node. Pat Node started to drill it on the front, and I was really starting to suffer.
Legs are seizing up.
Doubt was seriously starting to creep in, and I wasn't sure how much longer I could keep pushing. But then this happened. And as usual, I'm your Huckleberry. Challenge accepted. If Pat Node wanted me to pull, I'd pull. But if I was going to hurt, everyone was going to hurt. And I gradually turned the screws on a seated attack. 2 meters became 3 and then 5. And as I looked back, I had a gap. I had one choice left to me now. Commit. My legs and lungs were on fire, but with the gap widening behind me, I kept the power down as much as possible. As I approached the brutal kick that I'd been considering attacking on just a few minutes earlier, I was now worried whether I'd even get over it. But if my legs were dead, surely the people chasing me were in agony too. As I hit the ramp, I kicked as hard as I could to hold my lead into the descent, but I barely had anything left.
They're gonna get me.
I'm not the lightest rider at 77 kilograms, so I was praying that gravity would carry me home. As we hurtled back into central London, I was holding a gap, albeit not a big one. Gravity hadn't betrayed me, but I had a long way left to go.
Legs are dead.
My legs were completely empty, and I had to hope Group 2 syndrome would set in behind.
They're pulling hard behind.
It was starting to look like a question of when I would get caught, rather than if.
They're too organized. Fuck!
The situation was now desperate. With the pack closing me down, I had to make it to the ramp out of the underground first, or I'd be shelled right out of the back. Somehow, I found just enough energy in my legs to survive up the vicious kick and held on over the top.
Oh, so many of them came back. Fuck. Oh, I tried, guys. I'm sorry.
My legs felt like they were set in concrete at this point, and after spending so much energy on Box Hill and then trying to stay away, I doubted whether I'd be able to contest the sprint at all.
No power up to make this hard.
Wasting the aero boost descending Box Hill definitely didn't help our chances either, but as with every week, we were going to try anyway.
What, mate? Yes! Yes! Yes!
And there it is, our first win. After 4 second places and 3/3, it feels great to finally step on top of the podium, especially after what was, to me at least, a truly epic race.
Never give up. Oh, I feel dizzy. I feel sick. Thanks for watching, guys. We finally got the win. Oh God, I feel ill.
That race took absolutely everything and then some. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll be back next week for another race.